Hi, this is Cecil Pruitt with Spatial Integrated Systems, your Siemens software reseller for the East Coast. Today I'd like to address a technical support issue that I've helped people through, and it deals with orienting a plane to be perpendicular to a drawing view, or I should say to be frontally oriented towards a drawing view inside your draft file, while the part itself may not be aligned with any specific orthographic orientation within the part itself. Before we can do that, though, we need to understand a few basic concepts, and one of those is of course, design for manufacture. What that means is that your design processes need to also align with your manufacturing processes. More graphically, I would say is that if you are working with sheet metal, then your sheet metal needs to lie on the XY plane as much as possible. Whereas whenever you go to flatten a part, well, that would give you an orientation for your flat pattern that easily matches up with your CNC. Same thing goes with blocks of metal that you might be milling or into whatever manufacturing processes that you have in your shop floor. More specifically, even though than that, notice that we have a Z, Y, and an X axis. Inside Solid Edge, whenever we go to design a part, it is often best to orient our initial features across what would be our top view, which is the XY plane. The ZX plane being our frontal view. If I were to click on my XY plane and place my part, this would, of course, be my top view. And if I were to make this, give it some depth, then this would be my top, this would be my front, and this would be my right-hand side. But sometimes in other parts, that's not going to help because the planes that we want to orient to a view don't fall within the ZY or the YX or the ZX planes. So I've developed a model, a very simple model to explain this. As I throw this guy away and I open up this file, what I'll do is I will go ahead and show a model that I've made. It's a simple block, and it shows our top, front, and right-hand side. Notice how it's oriented. It's oriented so that ZX is our front, and XY is our top, and of course, ZY would be right-hand side. But more importantly, on the back side of this, I have a plane that is odd. Notice it says odd side. If I were needing to orient that plane into a draft file, how would I deal with it? Well, let me show you how to do this inside Solid Edge. First things first, I want to take this model and throw it to a draft file. So I will choose to do a new, create drawing. I'm going to use an ANSI draft. And as I pull this guy in, I will see that it initially comes up with the front view. Well, obviously this is far too big. So I'm going to go ahead and change my view. I'll probably change it 1:1 just for orientation's sake. And I could place this one view or place all three views in one shot. If I wanted to place all three views in one shot, then I would probably choose here, and I'll choose the front to be my primary view. Now, before I place this, well, actually, before I do that, I probably want to go into my Drawing View Wizard options. And then the options, I'm going to say, hey, let's don't show any hidden edges. So once more, what I want is I want the front view to be the initial, and these two views I want to go along with it. And as I click OK, here's all three of my views now. And as I place them, they are shown the exact way that they need to be shown. Of course, if I were to choose principal view, I could also throw off an isometric view, which is nice. And if I were to pull off another principal view here, I would see a glimmer of the side that I want to show in another view. So here I am. I really need to show that, and that's not the way that I'd like it to be done. I'm going to click on View Wizard one more time, and I'm going to say, yes, this is the model that I want to deal with, but no, this is not the view that I want. So what I would like to do is I would like to reach over here to my drawing view layout and choose Custom, and I will orient the view to be more or less in what I can see. I'm going to choose this button here that's called Look at Face, and I'm going to choose that look. I'm going to choose this face, and of course it's not going to be oriented the way that I desire, but that's okay. That's not a problem. I'm going to go ahead and choose OK or Close, and I'm going to choose OK here, and this will pull out a view. Once more, too big. So I'm going to choose a 1:1 scale and place it in. Now, I do also need to doctor this view just a tad bit. I'm going to right-hand click on it and choose my properties and say, hey, I don't want any hidden edges on this, and that's fine. And not only that, but this is not the view orientation that I would like to have. I would really love for this edge to be lying flat, or 0 or 180 degrees. So how do I do that? If I go under my Sketching tab and then choose the Rotate, believe it or not, you can rotate a view. So I do want to choose to have this as the view that I'd like to rotate. I'm going to choose a vertex. I'm going to say, hey, here's a handle point, and I'm going to literally just rotate. Now you might think, well, how do you know when to stop? Well, if you'll see where my cursor is, you'll see my horizontal glyph showing up, my IntelliSketch icon. If I were to click right there, then it is now moved to the orientation that I want it to be. And of course, if I were to now use my select icon and grab my view, I can pull it wherever I want it to be displayed at. And that is how we get an oddly oriented face to appear frontal to our viewpoint. I hope this helps. Visit us at www.sisinc.org.